Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
With Canelo Alvarez, Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Bruce is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout?
Like it's honest, but again, I want to see them fight. I want to see some aggression. Tank would have that if it was anyone he actually felt was worth it. I just don't know if he thinks Jake's worth it. Again, I get that feeling that he just is there.
Jake Paul has added a surprising name to his training camp ahead of his bout with Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson. According to Paul, Stevenson actually reached out with interest in joining the camp, bringing serious credibility to the preparations. Paul noted that his team has lined up a group of skilled southpaw sparring partners, all smaller in size but experienced enough to provide valuable challenges. What caught many off guard was Stevenson's involvement, given there wasn't any known connection between him and Paul before this. Still, Paul is confident that working alongside Stevenson and others will sharpen his skills as he gets ready to face Tank.
In terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty south.
Some commentators have expressed skepticism about the unexpected link-up between Jake Paul and Shakur Stevenson, describing the collaboration as both surprising and somewhat questionable. Critics suggest that Stevenson might be stepping into a paid sparring role, similar to how Jaron "Boots" Ennis assisted Canelo Alvarez during his training camp for Terrence Crawford. What raises eyebrows is the complete lack of any previous association between Paul and Stevenson. In contrast, Ennis had long-standing family ties with Canelo, which made their partnership more understandable. With Stevenson, there are no such personal connections, leading many to believe that financial motivation could be at play. The speculation is that Paul may have extended a generous offer to secure Stevenson's involvement. This has sparked debate over whether Stevenson's choice is more about business than a shared boxing philosophy, given how unconventional this pairing appears on the surface.
Shakur Stevenson reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terrence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Bruce is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's against a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly to make it happen?
Asked about the upcoming Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight, Shakur Stevenson shared his perspective on the matchup. He said that if he were in Tank's shoes, he'd look at the fight from two angles. From a business standpoint, it makes sense because of the financial rewards and the spotlight it brings. But as a competitor, Stevenson confessed he personally wouldn't accept that kind of fight. His comments highlight the distinction between viewing boxing as a strategic career move versus pure athletic competition. While some critics question his involvement as Jake Paul's sparring partner, Stevenson openly acknowledges that financial factors play a role in these decisions, drawing a clear line between business interests and fighter pride. He also pointed out how today's boxing world often mixes sporting legitimacy with entertainment value.
Can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
okay.
It just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you did had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made.
At the official press conference, things got heated when Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis came face to face, resulting in a brief shove between the two. This moment quickly caught the attention of fans and media alike. However, many experts suggest the confrontation was more about showmanship than genuine hostility. In today's boxing landscape, these kinds of heated exchanges at promotional events are often staged to generate buzz and drive pay-per-view sales. The interaction between Jake and Tank fits perfectly into the storyline of the fight, blending drama with athletic competition. The build-up focuses on the classic question of whether a bigger fighter can use power to dominate a smaller, more technically skilled opponent, or if the smaller boxer's speed and skill will prevail. This theatrical tension ensures even casual fans are intrigued enough to watch when fight night arrives.
Southpaw orthodox matchup, left hand down the pipe. You can even see here, I'm not even trying to do the whole body language breakdown, but you can even see Tank could get under that left hand because he's 5-0. He could roll under that left hand, and here comes the brick hand over the top. If he lands something like that in 10 ounces, I'm going to tell you this. Jake's 200 and something pounds. That's still going to hurt at the very least, and who knows what, because Tank's got ridiculous power. So Jake, a little sloppy on the push there. He got pushed. He wanted to get it back. There's something to be taken away from that, but lines up perfectly for a counter left hand. And you even see his promoter here is kind of grabbing his left hand because Tank wanted to let it fly. And Jake backed up a little bit. He said, oh, and Tank comes with that. Tank, man. Tank said, where I'm from, the bullies get bullied. All right, dude, there you go. Listen, takeaways from this thing, I don't know. Tank seemed to have a little bit more energy today. He seemed to be more lively. Him going back and forth with the media, with Jay Leon, with Jake, with Aiden Ross. There seemed to be a bit more energy today. That's all I really asked for. So in terms of, selling us on something, sure. Better job today from both guys. Jake, seemed a bit more locked in here with Tank as well. They had a little bit more fun. Tank going after Nikisa was pretty funny. But listen, this doesn't change anything in my mind. The 10-ounce gloves doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, again, I think that's a bad idea for Tank, more so because even if Jake doesn't land clean, those are 10-ounce gloves, still going to hurt. Tank is still punching in gloves that are 2 ounces heavier than he normally uses, so I don't know how that's a win for him. The $2 million bet almost certainly won't happen, which I didn't think would in the first place, but Tank pretty much confirmed it. And we're all left with the same kind of idea that we thought about this to begin with. This is an entertainment exhibition that we know is going to draw a ton of eyeballs. I'm going to watch, and there's going to be great high-level competition boxing on the underneath card. And even in the main event, if something is to happen, if someone is to get knocked out, it will go mega viral, and both these guys are going to make a shit ton.
Despite all the hype and entertainment surrounding the fight, insiders emphasize that Gervonta Davis is taking this matchup very seriously. Analysts have pointed to his focused body language and rigorous training as clear signs that Tank is fully locked in and motivated. The stakes, they say, are higher than many might think. A victory over Jake Paul could bring Davis not only a huge payday, but also a boost in mainstream recognition. Experts warn that Paul shouldn't underestimate Tank the way he might have underestimated some of his previous older opponents during promotional events. Unlike exhibition fighters, Davis is in his prime and known for his intense, aggressive style inside the ring. If Paul treats this fight lightly or plays games, it could end very badly for him. Tank's determination in camp reflects his awareness of both the financial rewards and the risks of losing to someone who transitioned from YouTube to boxing. Watching him at the press conference, it's clear he's focused on getting the money and the win. Jake Paul, on the other hand, better be careful. No playing dirty, no cheap shots like rabbit punches or hitting the back of the head. Some fans believe fighters like Mike Tyson or Anderson Silva held back when facing Paul, but there's no chance Tank will pull punches if Paul doesn't take this seriously. Though some dislike the matchup, it's expected to be highly entertaining. Many will watch, drawn by the curiosity and spectacle, much like how people slow down to watch a car accident on the side of the road. This fight will capture widespread attention, even if opinions about it are mixed. Importantly, much of the criticism aimed at Davis overlooks that he isn't responsible for the direction boxing has taken in recent years. Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult has shared a strong opinion on what a Tank Davis win would mean. He argues that if Tank beats Jake Paul, he would become a hero not only to hardcore boxing fans, but also to casual viewers. Many people are eager to see Jake Paul finally knocked out after rising from social media fame to headline big boxing events. From this perspective, Tank's victory wouldn't just be another win, it would fulfill a long-awaited moment for fans. Paul's success has been divisive, attracting a younger crowd, but frustrating traditional boxing followers. A knockout by Davis would solidify Tank's reputation as the fighter who humbled Jake Paul, boosting his status both inside and outside the ring. This fight, therefore, carries a cultural significance, pitting boxing pride against the entertainment-driven approach that Paul represents.
Gervonta Tank Davis stops that. If he is the one who stops this whole train, knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero. People will then say, now get the hell out the sport. And I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. That's what they're going to say. Now, it's not going to go on either one of their official records because it's an exhibition. But it doesn't matter because optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
We're gonna have to help you up. We're gonna have to help you up. We're gonna see about it. Help you up. We're gonna. Let's go.
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him bandy legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black Two Sugars. That you guys don't want to admit it. Don't bull jive. Think about it. He will be a boxing hero. It will go viral over and over. It's the same thing. No, not even the same. It's not even close. But there was a viral reaction when AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou.
Anthony Joshua can dispose of the MMA champion.
When AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou in the first round, it was like, now get out of here.
Former champion and analyst Timothy Bradley has been straightforward in his take, describing the fight as an easy payday for Gervonta Davis. Bradley points out that Tank's superior skill set and experience against top-level opponents make Jake Paul's challenge seem far less daunting. He doesn't see a realistic path for Paul to come out on top, viewing the matchup more as a low-risk, high-reward scenario for Davis. According to Bradley, this fight isn't really about competitive balance. It's about generating big revenue for both sides while giving Davis a likely win. His perspective highlights a common view in the boxing community that this bout is less about testing Paul's boxing skills and more about leveraging his celebrity status to boost Davis's profile. Bradley's opinion aligns with the widespread expectation that Tank will handle the fight comfortably while also cashing in. The decision to hold the fight in Florida has also sparked some discussion and curiosity.
Innocence and say that it ain't fixed because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You know, you start reading your own press clippings. That's what Jake is doing. You know, fighting this lower level competition, and now he think he the ish. Now he think he the man. He ain't the man. You kidding me? He is not the man. Oh no. Yeah, false sense of security. Now he try to pick on small folks, right? You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I'm just saying size-wise. Yeah, that's another thing, boxing one-on-one. You can't pay attention to size. Hell no, I told y'all it's the size of the heart, right? In that damn dog. It ain't the size of the damn dog, and I told y'all that, man. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And it's about the smartest dog. Tank too smart for him. Tank got too much boxing IQ for Jake, man. This gonna be easy. Easy. Like I said, man, Tank, please, man. Don't do this to boxing, bro. If there's anything, man, shoot. man, we can put together some kind of like account for you, a GoFundMe account or whatever.
Analyst Paulie Malignaggi shared his take on the fight, suggesting that both the matchup and the choice of location might be part of a bigger strategy to turn Gervonta Davis into a mainstream star. If Davis wins, especially on a big stage in the US, it could introduce him to a much broader audience beyond just hardcore boxing fans. Malignaggi noted that the full reasons behind making this fight are not entirely clear, but the business motivations are obvious. Jake Paul draws large crowds and significant media attention, while Tank brings legitimacy and explosive skill. By pairing them, promoters seem to be working to boost Davis's profile and make him a household name across America. Hosting the fight in Florida adds to the appeal by providing easy access for fans, media, and celebrities, ensuring the event will have high visibility.
There's obviously a reason why the networks wanted to make Gervonta Davis a star.
But let's look at it. And Robert, I want to ask you this. When you looked at the numbers for Canelo, his fight against Crawford, 41 million viewers. That's what they got. It was the most viewed championship fight of this century. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson got 108 million. It got more than double, significantly more than double. Is it the idea of the streaming services, Netflix, where they're following the numbers, Robert, and that's where the numbers are?
It's what we're coming to, the real fights, the real fights where they deserve to be seen throughout the world are, it's great. They have good numbers, but when you see guys, that are YouTubers, guys that are 60-year-old retired and coming back, and getting 2 times more than what a real fight, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing, kind of sad that we're getting there, that we're in that situation. But I also can't blame them, they're all making a lot of money. That's why Tank is doing it. I think it's ridiculous. It's a joke. But I can't go against that either. He's making a lot of money. Jake Paul is doing his thing. Jake Paul is he makes these fights happen and gets the views. So people are tuning in. That's the problem, that people are.
Promoter Nakisa Badarian has attracted attention with remarks about the fight's equipment and rules. He confirmed that the fighters will use 10-ounce gloves, which is typical for lighter weight divisions but stands out given the size difference between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. When pressed about whether there will be a rehydration clause, rules that restrict how much a fighter can gain weight. After the official weigh-in, Badarian chose not to provide a clear answer. This uncertainty has sparked speculation over whether Davis might face limits on his weight recovery before the fight. Such clauses can greatly affect the dynamics of a match, especially when there's a significant size gap. The lack of transparency has fans and experts wondering if Paul's camp negotiated specific terms to even the playing field. By keeping these details under wraps, the promoters add an element of mystery while ensuring close scrutiny on both fighters as fight night draws near.
At 195 max weight,
Okay.
10 3-minute rounds,
Okay.
and 12-ounce gloves. And most of you guys know boxing, right? Most of the fights are with 10-ounce gloves. Fighters spar in 16-ounce gloves. 12-ounce and 10-ounce gives you a little bit more safety, which is the key here, given the size difference, but there's a massive experience difference. We will have 3 world-class judges ringside that the commission has approved to ensure there's a rendered decision for the fans. It will not go on their record, but there will be 3 experienced judges, some of the best in the business, giving their view of who won the fight.
So let me just follow up with this then. The Florida statute says that it means an exhibition means a boxing, kickboxing, or mixed martial arts.
You saw the exhibition of Floyd and Logan. So just go with that, and if they weren't trying to hit each other, then tell me they weren't trying to hit each other.
Think Tank's gonna walk in at 160?
That's up to Tank. What I can tell you is Tank is focused on coming in the best shape of his life. It's not about gaining weight. It's about having the speed advantage.
What can we expect on the UNCUT championship fights?
Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, we'll announce 5 fights, 4 of which are title fights. So yes, you can expect to see another MVP fully stacked card. No prospects on a big show like this. Yes, go ahead.
So when a matchup is a matchup 4 years in the making, how do you mentally and then physically prepare for this matchup, a matchup like this?
As in, how do the fighters prepare?
You and as well, the fighters train with you as promoter.
I mean, look, we started MVP 4 years ago with the mission to be fighter first, right? And I think like this event is exactly that. We're giving Tank a massive platform and opportunity for the world to see who that young man is. He's misunderstood in many ways, but at heart, he is a great human being who has a family and wants to do big things to make an impact on the sport and take care of his family. So we're excited about that. And in terms of preparing for this, it's no different than Mike Tyson and Taylor Serrano. It's just another big event that's on a global scale.
Keisha, is there a rehydration clause at all?
No comment.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.